Hello everybody, this is Shanita Rousey and I am the author of the book, The Power of You. And this is a book that really helps you to understand who you are in God. It really helps you to understand your purpose. It helps you to overcome the obstacles, that unforgiveness, that broken heart, that resentment, all those different things. It helps you to overcome those things so that you can fully operate in your power. There are so many times that we walk around aimlessly because we are still stuck in our past. We're still stuck in our mistakes. We're still stuck in our failures. And so I wanted to write a book that will help us to get unstuck. Help us to realize that, hey, we are here on earth, right? We still have purpose. We still have life, even after the pain. And so that book really helps you to own your power, to really operate in your power on a high level. Because I love what Dr. Monroe says. He says to leave the world empty, because so many times we take all of our gifts, we take all of our talents, and we leave it right there in the grave with our bodies, right? And so we have to make sure that we are doing everything that God has called us to do. We need to make sure that we're really operating at a high level, because God is coming back for us, and we want to make sure that we're empty, right? We want to make sure that we've done everything He's told us to do. So that book, The Power of You, will really help you to tap into that power. Today, I want to talk about 3 red flags to let you know that you are limiting yourself. Limiting yourself in any area of your life, right? The first thing is to understand that stagnation, right? That cycle, that reoccurring cycle that we face day after day, year after year, month after month. What is that thing that has caused you to repeat the same cycle, that has caused you to repeat the same test? You have to begin to really evaluate and say, God, why am I still in the wilderness? Right? Why have I not overcome this thing yet? Why am I allowing what happened to me, right, to allow me to stay stuck in this place? Because we have to really be honest with ourselves. When we're dealing with unforgiveness, we're dealing with all those hurts and pains, not to undermine it, not to say, hey, it didn't hurt me, it didn't affect me, right? But it's the simple fact of knowing that it's not hurting them when I don't forgive them. It's hurting me. Right? I am hurt because I won't let it go, because I won't forgive them, because I'm still living in my hurt, because I can't love again because I'm still hurt. I can't trust again because I'm still hurt. I can't do anything that God has called me to do because I am so focused on what hurt me, and I'm not focused on how it actually helped me. Right? You got to let it sink in. I know it hurt me, but it also helped you, right? It helped you become better, wiser, stronger. It gave you tools that you didn't even know you really had, right? It just opened up a lot of things that God had already placed in you. But because you were so busy being hurt, you didn't know that you were actually being helped. Right? So one thing that we do is we allow stagnation, that same cycle year after year, doing this and doing that. Same wilderness 40 years, because we have not moved on. We have not got to the root of the issue. We have not sought to do the work so that we're able to do everything that God called us to do. But we rather just stay stuck because it's comfortable. We want to stay stuck because we're so used to it. But I want to encourage you to simply let it go, because you cannot afford in this season to be stagnant. Right? The second thing is those losing battles in our mind. So many times we can talk ourselves out of what God has called us to have, to be, because we are so busy talking negative to ourselves. We are so busy agreeing with the enemy. You ain't nothing. You ain't gonna never be nothing. You gonna always be at this place. Life is always gonna be like this. No, you have to say, no, I'm a winner. I'm an overcomer. God has brought me through this, and He'll bring me through that. You have to get that attitude like David, right? David, I love the story when he's going to fight Goliath, because what he understood is that I don't care what you look like, giant, right? I don't care what you look like, Goliath. What I understand is that I have a God. I have somebody that's bigger and badder and tougher than you. And so if He's bigger and badder and tougher than you, that means that I can defeat you. So no, I don't need Saul's armor. I don't need the things that they were trying to put on David. Sometimes we are trying to operate in somebody else's anointing. We are trying to operate in somebody else's power and gifting. And we get it all wrong because we can't be them, because God made us us. So the second thing is stop with the losing battles in your mind. I want you to stop rehearsing the negative. Stop rehearsing the hurt. Stop rehearsing what they said. Stop rehearsing all those things, because God has created you for such a time as this. And if he's created you for such a time as this, that means that you have everything within you. You are powerful enough. I love it because Moses went back in the Bible and what he said was, he said, you know, God, you can't be calling me because I can't really speak well. Right? He allowed that to be an excuse, but God said, excuse me, sir. I knew that before I called you. And so you need to stop talking negative about yourself, because God knows you with even all of your flaws. And what I like to say is my issue is my introduction. Yes, I'm a believer, so I'm always saying something from the Bible. I love the woman with the issue of blood, because what I found out, what I discovered is she had an issue. And even with her issue, you know what she did? She said, I got to get to Jesus. I know that the people around me say I'm unclean and I shouldn't be here. But she said, I don't really care about all that because I need to get to Jesus. And what her issue did for her, it introduced her to her healing. It introduced her to her miracle. It introduced her to the power, right? Because she just wanted to get to Jesus. She wasn't going for attention, because all she said was, can I touch the hem? She could have easily said, you know, I want to get to Jesus so he can see me, you know, so he can do X. She said, I just want to touch the hem. If I can touch the hem, I know that I can be made whole. I know that I can be healed. Right? And so we have to get bold about that, even when the enemy comes to us and say that we can't, because we can. Right? The last thing, number 3, is our excuses. What keeps us stuck? What keeps us from limiting ourselves is really being stuck in our excuses. We want to make excuses why we can't. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough resources. Ain't nobody helping me. You know, it reminds me once again of the man who was lame for 38 years. And Jesus asked him, do you want to be made whole? The man said, well, every time I try to go over there and get my healing, nobody wouldn't help me. So we have to think about that. How many times has God asked us, do we want to be made whole? Do we want to be, you know, healed from whatever it is? And we say, well, you know what, God, ain't nobody help me. But how many of you know that you have to get to a place and you have to get to a time where you say, I'm not going to make an excuse for where I am, but what I will do is move. What I will do is trust God. What I will do is take action, because I'm not going to allow anything that I have, any excuse to keep me from God's best, to keep me from the promise that he has for me. So those are 3 things that I want to leave with you for now, is that keeps us stuck, that keep us limiting ourselves, is stagnation. We refuse to find the root of the issue. We rather stay stuck and we rather stay comfortable. The second thing is that we are always talking negative to ourselves. We're talking down to ourselves. And so I want to encourage you to encourage yourself. The third thing is we make excuses because we don't want to move. And so that's the things I have for you. I hope it's blessed you. I hope it was helpful, because I believe in you and I understand and I know that we have great power within us, and nobody can get you to that power except you. So make up your mind that you're going to own your power. You're going to get unstuck and you're going to get activated in the things that God has called for you to do. Have an amazing day.